Good afternoon, good day to everyone. Good morning. So kung ano man pong oras ninyo ito pinapanood, so isang mapagpalang araw sa inyong lahat. And we'll now proceed with the last discussion for this semester for my subject, which is the System Analysis and Design, chapter number 6. Okay, so if you have questions or clarifications or hindi nyo naiintindihan, pwede nyong i-pause or replay o i-replay ang inyong itong video na ito. Okay, so itong video recording na to will serve as your mag-guide na din for the activity number 3 and then para may mabalikan kayo. Kasi since medyo tight na yung oras natin for your preparation for your activity number 3 or lab activity number 3 and for your final project. Okay? So I hope ay pakinig nyo ng malinaw ang sir no, dito po sa video. Ito naman po ipopost ko sa ating pong Google Classroom. Okay? So proceed po tayo with chapter number 6, which is moving into the implementation. Okay, as the design phase is completed, the system analyst begins to focus on the task associated with building the system. Okay, ensuring that it performs as designed and developing documentation for the system. Programmers will carry out the time-consuming and costly task of writing programs, while the system analysts prepare plans for the variety of tests that will verify the system performs as expected. Several different types of documentation will also be designed and written during this part of the system development life cycle. Okay, yun nga, as I said, after designing the system, your next step will be the implementation. No, actually, you are building your system or your project. No, since implementation na not just building it, but you need to test it. No, kumbaga andito yung testing na part. Kapag nagbi-build tayo ng something, nagbi-build tayo ng system or ng prototype, no, kaya tayo may mga prototype, kaya natin siya ini-implement, kaya natin siya bini-build, no, not just to be functionable, but uh, clear yung objective natin. No, kapag maayos nating nagawa, naayos natin or maayos nating na develop ang ating program, kailangan din natin siyang i-testing. Okay, after ng testing, kailangan nyo mag-prepare ng documentation. Ano ba yung tinatawag nating documentation? Yung documentation is kung ano yung nangyayari sa inyong implementation, ano yung nangyari sa testing, successful ba lahat. No, so at least alam ni user kung paano niya siya gagamitin at paano niya fully mauunawaan at ah, magagamit yung inyong system na ginawa. Okay, so we have here three objectives. So number one, be familiar with the system construction process. Bakit? Since kayo, you are the programmer of your system, you need to start writing the actual code. Okay, syempre, kapag naman, alam naman natin na kapag tayo nagde-develop ng program, we are writing the actual code of our system, talagang medyo time consuming siya. And at the same time, medyo mahal kasi siguro i-avail natin yung mga different subscriptions or bibili kung tayo ay may prototype, talagang medyo tight din sa budget. Okay, so kailangan you need to be familiar with the construction process. Okay, and as a system analyst, you need to make sure that the system is built according to the design. 'Di ba before tayo mag-implement, tayo ay kailangan neat and clean yung design natin, no? And kumbaga doon pa lang sa design, doon pa lang sa mismong blueprint, ay alam na natin kung paano natin siya i-build. Okay? Other than that, we have here the bukod sa be familiar, kailangan nyo din magawa, as I said, ng documentation. No? Habang ginagawa nyo or habang binibuild ninyo ang inyong system. Okay, second, you will be able to explain different types of test and paano mo siya gagamitin or paano gagamitin ni user ang inyong system na ginagawa. No, para siyang bahay. No, kapag meron ka ng blueprint o yun yung design, ngayon mag-actual constructions ka na or kumbaga you are now starting your system. No, you are building your system. Okay. Second, as I said, you need to explain different types of tests and uh, paano nyo siya gagamitin. How will you use your system, yung na-develop yung system? Number one, nakapila diyan, you need to ensure that your testing is correct. You need to make sure that the system works as expected. Kung ano yung nasa design, no, yung expected output ninyo will be uh, tested doon sa part ng implementation. No, hindi tayo basta-basta gagawa ng system. We need to test it. Okay? And dito sa ating chapter number 6, pag-aaralan natin yung mga different tests na ginagamit natin sa mga different stages. Okay? So wait lang, magcha-charge lang ang sir. Pwede nyo i-pause or i tag dito. I-fast forward. Medyo nag-lobat ang sir. Yan. Wait lang. Okay, going back. No, doon sa mga pag-aaralan natin mamaya regarding sa different testing, nabigyan ko lang kayo ng overview. So meron tayong mga unit testing, meron tayong integration testing, meron tayong system testing, and yung tinatawag nating acceptance testing. Okay? So baka tatanungin ninyo, saan ba bakit ba ang daming testing? Paano ba natin siya gagamitin? Pwede bang isa lang? No, so kumbaga, si testing parang 'di ba pag tayo ay nabili ng mga bagong appliances, mga bagong cellphone, no, before natin siya gamitin, i-check natin, no, kung siya ba ay functionable, wala ba siyang sira, wala ba siyang no, so that malalaman natin kung ano ba yung mga further adjustment natin kailangan gawin. No, kasi talagang mahalaga si testing lalo na kung sa part na ng implementation. Kasi hindi po pwede na magsa-start tayo lang basta ng system, nag-develop tayo ng system, nag-design tayo, no, hindi na natin siya itetest, basta na natin siya dineploy. No, hindi po ganun. No, isa-isa natin siyang itetest kung siya ba ay functionable, maayos, and user-friendly. Okay? And lastly, you need to describe how to develop users' documentation. So, actual construction, testing, and meron tayo lastly, the documentation. Sir, bakit kailangan ng documentation? Para aware ang user, aware ang developer, aware ang lahat ng team sa kung ano yung nangyayari sa sa construction ng building, sa testing, hanggang siya ay maging, um, kumbaga, ay functionable system. Okay, as I said, documentation explain how to use the system. So ginamit natin sa documentation for the user in order for them to understand kung ano yung nangyayari sa system or kung paano nila gagamitin si system. Okay, so ano ba yung mga different documentation? Meron tayong user manual. Ano ba yung user manual? Yan yung step-by-step instruction para kay user. Ano pa? Online help. Yun yung mga tool tips, no, guides. Ano pa? Yung mga facts. Okay? Ano pa, training materials, no, yung mga tutorials, demos. So kailangan, once tayo nag-develop, kailangan yan po ay may kaakibat na documentation. Okay? So para siyang guidebook para hindi maligaw yung ating mga user sa paggamit ng system. Naintindihan? Okay. So proceed tayo with the introduction of our chapter number 6. Sabi dito, the implementation phase marks the transition from conceptual system design to the actual constructions of the information system. At this point, many stakeholders tend to focus primarily on the program development, often assuming that the implementation is uh, synonymous with the programming. However, this assumption overlooks a fundamental principle of system development. A successful implementation depends on the quality of preceding analysis and design phases. Through the well-executed analysis and design serve as the foundation of the smooth, predictable, and efficient implementation stages. Okay, so I said, nasa implementation phase na tayo. No, and sa implementation phase, is where the system moves from the design to actual constructions. No, kasi many of us, iisipin natin na si implementation equals programming. And si programming is equals to implementation. Pero in reality, no, hindi lang siya basta you are writing your code or you are writing your program. Okay? Si implementation is not just programming. Kasi si programming, let's say, sige, sabihin na natin na si programming is very important. No, but successful implementation depends on the quality of analysis and design that is done earlier. Kumbaga, nag-start tayo ng SEM, no, from scratch. No, alam natin yung analysis, yung designing. Magagawa natin si implementation if maayos nating nagawa si analysis at si design phase. Okay? So, kumbaga, good design is equal to smoother and more predictable implementation sa ating pong gagawing design or sa ating gagawing system. Okay, so kung hindi maayos ang gawa ninyo sa analysis, hindi maayos ang gawa ninyo sa designing, hindi kayo makapag-implement, hindi kayo makapag-develop. Okay, so yun ang tatandaan niyo. Kumbaga mas maayos ang plano, mas maayos ang blueprint, no, mas maayos yung mga naunang process, mas madali natin ma-build yung ating system. Naintindihan? Okay, so sabi dito, the implementation phase encompasses the development and testing of the system software, the preparation of the system and user documentation, and the establishment of operational procedure necessary for the system development. This chapter discusses the major activities and the managerial consideration involved in executing them effectively. Complementary topics such as system installation, conversion strategies, organizational preparation, user training, and post-implementation support that are addressed in later chapters. Software development, which includes the translation of the program specification into executable code, is often the most time-consuming and resource-extensive component. As an SDLC project, despite its size, it is usually the most well-understood portion of the process. With established standards, tools, and methodologies, in the most organization, programmers carry out the coding task, while system analysts supervise the overall process. Thus, this chapter focuses not on writing code, but on managing the programming process to ensure the productivity, quality, and alignment with the system requirements. Okay? So, ano ba yung nangyayari sa implementation? So, meron tayong software development. Sa software development, yung mga programmers, no, tinatranslate nila yung specification into code. Okay? So, kung ano yung nangyari sa designing, no, i-interpret siya ni developer or ni na programmer. Tinatranslate niya yun into specified code. No, kasi nga, we are actually building our system. Second, testing. Ano nangyayari sa testing? Yung analyst, tayo, no, kayo as analyst or yung quality assurance team, chine-check niya lahat ng modules, no, lahat, all in all, whole system, kung ano yung nangyayari sa design. Kung na-implement ba natin, no? Kaya nga tayo nagte-testing no? Next, once tayo ay nakapag-testing, meron tayong documentation. As I said, documentation is very important, no, for the maintenance, for the user, and for the end user. Okay, and at the same time, meron tayong operational procedure. At sa operational procedure, we are preparing the system for deployment. Okay? So sabi dito, ano pa ba? Yan. Para programmer, aside sa system analysis design, coordinates a series of tests intended to validate system behavior. As individual modules are completed, tests are conducted to determine whether the software operates according to the design specification in many organizations. This responsibility may be shared with the transferred to the dedicated quality assurance team. Na as I said, isa sila sa nagtetest. No, system documentation, which support maintenance, future system enhancements, prepare user documentation, which assist end user in operating the system effectively. This chapter concludes with a detailed discussion of the forms, structure, and importance of the system and user documentation. And we are managing the program process. The programming phase is relatively predictable and well-structured aspects of the system development. Project failures really stem for the inability of programmers to produce working code. Instead, failures typically arises from flaws in earlier SDLC stages, no, such as poor requirement analysis, weak system design, or ineffective project management to ensure successful program constructions. The project manager must responsibly strategically perform three critical functions. Ano yung three critical function? Assigning programming tasks, coordinating team activities, managing and monitoring the program schedule. Okay, each of these responsibilities is essential to keeping the implementation phase on track. Okay, so alam naman natin na sa programming, as I said, time-consuming, kailangan fully understand natin yung mga gagamitin nating, uh, let's say, mga programming languages. No, since tayo as programmer, we are handling coding. No, syempre si analyst naman, they are the one to supervise to ensure the productivity, the quality, and alignment with the requirements. Establish standards and tools to guide the process. Okay, testing, uh, in a parallel, testing is parallel to development. Now, as modules are completed, they are tested immediately. Ensure the system behaves according to the design, and the QA teams may share responsibility. Now, once na document na natin, or the documentation is finalized, the system documentation will help the future maintenance and a future enhancement for the system. We need to also write the user documentation to help end users operate the system confidently. So tatandaan natin na napaka-importante ng last part na ito, no, for you to create your final laboratory number activity number 3 and for your final project. Okay? Sabi dito, managing the schedule. Time estimates prepared during the planning, analysis, and design phases generally require significant refinement once programming begins. As discussed in Chapter 2, even well-developed schedule typically allow for 10% margin of error by the implementation stage because of the inherent uncertainty in software constructions. Continuous updating of the project timeline is vital. If a module requires more time to complete than original estimated, the appropriate response is to adjust the project completion date accordingly. Attempting to compress subsequent tasks or ignore delays often leads to more significant schedule failures later in the project. Okay, so alam na natin how to manage the program process. Meron tayong tatlong critical function. Ano nga ulit yung tatlo? Assigning programming tasks, coordinating team activities, and managing and monitoring the programming schedule. Okay, other than that, no, we need to manage the schedule. Kasi yung programming itself or the developing itself usually predictable and structured. Pero yung let's say yung mga problems or failures lalong-lalo na sa ating currently ongoing project, hindi siya often laging na kay programmer. Not knowing na kung paano natin siya i-code. But from the earlier mistake doon sa mga nauna natin. Kaya nga sabi ko sa inyo, hindi kayo makakapag-proceed with the implementation kung hindi maayos ang inyong analysis and designing. Kasi once na tayo nag-implement, automatically, wag natin sisisihin si programmer. Kasi sumusunod lang siya doon sa blueprint, doon sa step-by-step procedure on how to build your system. Lagi yang nagmumula sa designing. Kumbaga yan ay ladderize or kumbaga yan ay may domino effect. Kung hindi maayos ang requirements, pangit ang design, hindi maayos ang project management, possible magiging failed yung inyong system na gagawin. That's why we need to manage the programming process. Okay? As I said, napaka-importante na i-manage natin kung ano yung nangyayari in the actual programming process. Okay? Dito kasi sa part ng assigning programming task, no? Kasi syempre, i-divide natin yung trabaho sa different programmers, no? Based sa kanilang skills at based sa kanilang workload. For example, yung isang programmer, it handles a login module. Yung isa naman, about sa database connection. Yung isa naman for the front end. Okay? Yun. So, kailangan i-assign natin ng tama yung programming task sa ating mga developers. Second, coordinating teams activities and managing and monitoring the programming schedule. Doon sa coordination team activities, no, we need to ensure that our programmers communicate and work together smoothly para ma-avoid natin yung mga different duplications or magkaroon tayo ng conflict with your written code. Okay? And then, yun nga, managing and monitoring the programming schedule. Kailangan on track tayo with the progress. No, adjust natin yung mga timelines kapag kailangan para ma-prevent natin yung mga different delays para hindi siya mag-leads to bigger failures. No, hindi siya lumala, hindi siya lumaki. Okay, we also need to manage schedule. Kasi kailangan estimated yung oras natin sa paggawa at sa pag-develop ng ating system. Okay? Estimated yung oras natin sa planning, sa designing, no? Lalo na kung kailangan natin ng refinement or adjustment kapag nag-start na ng coding. Kahit baga sabihin natin na maayos, sir, maayos naman yung schedule namin, maayos po yung latag namin sa schedule. Lagi niyong tatandaan, meron pa rin yung percent. Imagine 10% of that. No, possible talaga nagkaka-error. Okay, and software construction is uncertain. So, kailangan gawin natin yung schedule natin. Kailangan ay laging ina-update. Kumbaga sabihin na natin ay flexible. Okay, ano pa? O let's say na-delay yung isang module, na-delay yung isang part ng programming process. So, syempre, kailangan na din maging flexible. I-adjust natin yung schedule kung kailan natin matatapos. No, wag nating pilitin na kaya siya tapusin that day kung hindi naman talaga kaya. Kasi sa huli, mas lalaki ang problem. Okay? Proceed tayo sa managing scope creep, monitoring day-to-day, split page, and risk assessment management. Okay, dito muna tayo sa managing scope creep. Okay, so hindi ko na babasahin. So sa managing scope creep, parang dito yung hindi, sa during the implementation kasi, many project may face challenges. At yung tatlong common issue ay ito: managing scope creep, yung day-to-day split-page, at saka yung risk assessment and management. Sa scope creep kasi, no, new requirements added after design is finalized. Ibig sabihin, na-finalize na natin yung design, pero sa actual coding, possible yung requirement ay mabago. Issue yun. No, second, day-to-day split-page. Yung mga small delays natin, no, kahit yan ay maliliit, pwede siyang magpatong-patong. Sa sobrang daming delay, it can lead to problem. Ano pa? Risk. Possible yung mga, yun nga, yung ongoing development natin can affect yung budget, no schedule, and the quality of your system. Okay, so sige, palawakin natin yung managing scope creep. O doon muna tayo. Kumbaga sa scope creep, we are adding new requirements after design is finished. Kumbaga, disruptive siya. Kasi it can force the design. Pwede siyang magre-designing. No, it requires ano pa, rewriting the completed code. Tapos na yung code. Since may nabago, i-rewrite ulit. Another cause of delay na naman yun. It can also increase cost. Ano pa, extend timelines. Okay, so and at the same time, yung lower system quality. Nakakababa siya ng quality. So paano ba natin iko-control ito pong yung scope creep, sir? Okay, number one, kailangan approve yung changes after yung cost-benefit analysis. Familiar naman kayo sa cost-benefit analysis, ano? And also, we need to require yung formal review and authorization ng lahat ng request. Okay, request ng changes. Kasi hindi pwede na basta may changes, ay hindi siya mag-undergo ng review at authorization. Okay, kasi ang hirap na, okay, ito po yung aming changes. No, basta na inano, eh yun pala hindi naman pala talaga kailangan doon or hindi naman pala talaga kailangan ng changes. So para maging valid yung ating request for the changes, ay kailangan may formal review at authorization. Okay? Ano pa? Accept only changes with clear justification and organizational value. Okay? So, alam na natin how to manage the scope creep. The second, how to monitor naman na the day-to-day slippage ng ating pong system. Okay, tatandaan nyo ha, kapag tapos na yung plano, wag natin basta-bastang magdadagdag ng bagong requirements. Okay, dapat dumaan siya sa review, dapat malinaw ang value. Okay, monitoring day-to-day slippage. No, yung kahit small daily delays, kahit ba, ay, konti lang naman yan, di naman siya harmless. Di naman siya makakapekto. Pero kung yun ay paulit-ulit, Kung yun ay sa lahat ng aspeto ng design or sa implementation, ay kahit sabihin natin na small delay lang naman yan, pwede siyang magpatong-patong at mahirap yun. No, let's say sabihin natin yung ginagawa ninyong system, let's say yung module. No, once yan ay na-late, possible yung whole project ninyo will be, let's say, weeks behind or days. And malaking bagay yun. That's why malaki ang role ni project manager. Ano bang ginagawa ni project manager? To track the progress closely. No, para kumbaga si project manager siya ang bahala to keep the schedules updated. No, siya din ang bahalang mag-monitor ng mga critical path modules, yung task na directly affect the completion of your system. Siyempre, uh, they fix the issues immediately. Kumbaga, hindi nila dapat hinahayaan na magpatong-patong yung mga problems. Kapag may nag-arise, solve agad dapat. I-fix agad. Kasi sa isang araw na delay, even though yan ay maliit, pero kung yan ay paulit-ulit, malaki ang epekto niyan sa inyong final system. Okay. Next, risk assessment management. Effective project managers maintain an updated risk assessment matrix. No, identifying the potential risk, their likelihood, their probable impact on the cost, schedule, and or quality. Okay, so wala namang perfect na project. Lahat ng project uh, can face risk. And bilang isang good project manager, we need to maintain yung tinatawag nating risk assessment matrix. Ano ba yung risk assessment? Dito natin ililist lahat ng possible risk ng project. No, yung likelihood kung kailan siya mag-occur, no, pa or impact with the system. No, so mahalaga ang merong risk assessment matrix. No, ah update natin yung risk. Ano pa? Since yung project natin ay nag-evolve. Once the project are evolving, hindi laging yun yung risk. So kumbaga, sumasabay tayo sa agos ng or sa evolving ng project. No, i-update natin yung risk. Yung iba may disappear, yung iba naman, no, ay hindi naman to, let's say hindi naman to naging risk sa ating system, pero may nag-appear. So kailangan laging updated. No, yung plano natin should be uh, active para ma-prevent natin yung risk from affecting the project. And at the same time, mas mahalaga magkaroon tayo ng early intervention and consistent monitoring. No, hindi sapat na ililista nyo lang lahat ng risk. Dapat yan ay planado kung paano sila iiwasan, paano natin isosolve yung risk, no, at paano natin siya i-manage. Okay? Yeah. So alam na natin how to manage the different risks. Proceed na tayo with one of the most, uh, let's say, critical, most enjoyable, and most, let's say, intellectually stimulating activities in the system development. Bakit? Alam naman natin na si programming, even though some of you ay hindi siguro paborito ang pagpaprogram. Okay, but as since kayo ay mga computer engineering technology, no, kailangan yung mahalin, kailangan yung maging creative, kailangan yung enjoyin ang pagpaprogram. No, even though na tayo ay ayun nga, nag enjoy with the programming, kailangan din nating seryosohin yung testing. No, kasi without proper testing, kahit yan ay napakahusay nyo mag-code, it can fail in a real world scenario or real world use pag yan ay na-deploy nyo na. Kumbaga si testing, it will ensure that your system is reliable, accurate, and ready for deployment. So bakit ba kailangan natin ng testing? Bakit importante na meron tayong testing lalo-lalo na kay implementation? Kasi yung mga programmers, no, nag-enjoy lang sila mag-code, no? Pero hindi nila, kumbaga hindi nila binibigyan ng importansya yung testing at yung documentation. Kasi nagko-code lang sila. Anong pakialam ko dyan sa testing na yan? Anong pakialam ko dyan sa documentation na yan? No, so, si testing, kumbaga siya ay yung systematic and um, ano ba ang tawag doon? Anong tawag doon? Methodical na way in implementation. It requires patience, precision to develop your system. And in professional practice, no, kung kayo nasa real world, ano na, real world scenario na, nasa ano na kayo, nasa outside world na. Woo, outside world. Si testing is considered as one of the most critical aspect of implementation para maging successful ang inyong system. O sige, mag-analogy tayo para magkaroon tayo ng kalinawan. Programming is equal to writing the draft of testing. And writing a draft of testing is equals to editing and proofreading. No, just like pag nagbabasa kayo ng book, no, or nagsusulat kayo ng book, pag hindi pa siya kompleto, after the first draft, no, hindi pa siya into, or kung hindi pa siya mag-proceed with the second testing. No, bakit ba importante na, bakit ba importante yung testing? No, many organizations spend more time and budget on testing than coding. Kasi si testing, siya yung nakaka-reduce ng mga operational failures, ah, user dissatisfaction, ano pa, maintenance cost. Okay? And dito sa testing phase, mahalaga din na magkaroon tayo ng aalamin natin na si programming at si testing ay interdependent. Yung mga programmer, they can finish the module, they can finish the system, they can finish the code. And syempre si analyst at si quality assurance teams, they will be the one who test your finished modules. Si testing kasi, no, must be structured and documented. No, paulit-ulit na. Okay? Risk of unstructured testing. Ano ba yung possible na risk if hindi tayo maayos na na-implement or hindi natin maayos na test ang ating program? Number one, missing important test cases. Okay? Can lead to error that can reproduce to no documentation, can also track what's tested versus untested. So, paano ba natin maiiwasan yung mga risk na yon? No, the testing should be planned. Kailangan planado yung ating testing. clear yung pagkakatest, na meet yung objective, and yung testing should be executed systematically. May pina-follow tayong procedure. Hindi yung basta na kayo nag-test. Okay? And also, wag niyong kakalimutan ang documentation or yun nga, documentation. Kasi, dito natin malalaman na yung result is good or pass. No, para yan ay magkaroon tayo ng transparency and accountability. Parang sa government lang, ano. Itong mga sinabi ko, no, itong how to prevent the issue is para ma-ensure natin that our system is functional. No, all the requirements such as non-functional, functional, interface requirements are validated before tayo mag-install or before the installation of our system. Okay. Sir, alam na po namin kung gaano ka-importante si testing. So, paano po namin gagamitin or so, paano po namin sisimulan yung tinatawag po nating test plan? So, andito na po tayo sa ating test plan. Sabi dito, the formal testing process begins with the development of the test plan, a comprehensive document that outlines the series of tests to be conducted, the condition under which they will occur, and the expected outcomes for each test. A typical test plan in professional practice ranges from 20 to 30 pages, with each individual test documented on its own page or section. Each test, each test case within the plan must include the text objectives, test input, test data, test procedure, expected output, actual output, and the pass-fail status. Okay. So dito muna tayo sa ah, doon. Bakit ba nagkaroon tayo sa test plan? It ranges to 20 to 30 pages. Okay, so the test plan po is very detailed document. It will guide, um, let's say, the user or tayo, no, for the formal testing process. Kasi it ensured that our part or the part of the system is tested systematically, no, under the clear condition and with expected result defined in advance. So ano nga ulit sa test plan? No, it should have comprehensively documented to 20 to 30 pages in professional practice. We need to outline all tests to be conducted, specify conditions, inputs, procedures, and expected outcomes. And each test or each test case is documented separately for clarity and accountability. So ito na po yung mga test case within the plan that must include, number one dyan, test objective. Ano ba yung purpose ng test? No? And si test objective, dito nakaderive ito from the program specification or yung tinatawag nating source code. Okay? And ano pa? Test inputs and test data. We need to validate the boundary, invalid, and the stress test inputs. So ano ba si test inputs and test data? Meron tayong, yun nga, to have validity, boundary, invalid, and stress test. Doon sa valid, no, syempre, if our data is correct. Boundary is yung alam natin kung saan yung maximum at minimum. No, yun yung extreme values. Sa invalid naman, Ito naman yung kabaliktaran ni valid, yung mga wrong data formats. At yung stress test inputs, ito naman yung large volumes or unusual conditions ng ating pong system. Okay? Third will be test procedure or yung test script natin. So, ibig sabihin, ito yung dito nakapaloob yung step-by-step instruction. No? It includes the user action, keystroke, clicks, or system commands. Number four will be expected output. No, dun sa expected output, ito na yung correct result based on the design specification. Okay, actual output. Yan, actual output, what the system produced during execution. Oh. And the past fail status, it determines if the test is succeeded or needs corrections. Okay, ano ba yung ano-ano nga ulit yung anim? We have test objective, test inputs, test procedure, expected output, actual output, pass fail status. Okay? So proceed tayo with the test case example. So tatandaan po ninyo, no, as I said, very important yung test plan. Okay, ito yung formal documented, no, na ginagamit para sa testing. Kung hindi siya basta-basta, kailangan siya ay very detailed at it can, kumbaga pag siya ay nakadocument, kailangan siya ay 20 to 30 pages. Okay? So wag niyo kakalimutan yung anim na test case inclusions. Okay? So proceed tayo with the test case example. So sa test case example, suppose the program specification states that the order quantity must be between 10 and 100 units. A complete test plan would include the following test cases. So yan yung invalid input too low, invalid input too high, invalid input wrong type, and nonsensical but potentially interpretable input. Your automated testing tools allow developers to generate and manage and execute such test cases efficiently and ensured the full coverage of the all required conditions. In some cases, tests cannot be performed solely through direct data entry. Certain types of tests may require the tester to navigate through menus, activate commands, and select various users' interface elements. In such cases, the test script documents the exact sequence of the action to ensure that consistent execution across multiple test cycle. So sir, bakit ba may test case example? Para saan ba siya? Kailangan po ba siya? Okay, so kumbaga para siyang rule, no? Kailangan alam natin na hanggang saan lang yung quantity, no? Yung order quantity, no, which is yung 10 to 100 units. Okay? And in test case kasi, yung specific scenario, it is used to check if the program behaves correctly. At si each test or each test case that is include yung ating mga tinatawag na yan nga, expected output, actual result, yung mga inputs natin. Okay, so meron tayo ditong valid input. So ito pong mga ito ay ginagamit para alam po natin yung complete test plan. Okay, so sa valid input, siya yung 15. No, syempre expected ano natin output will be accepted. Okay, so yung input natin will be 15. So may invalid lang yung input if it's too low. no, which is, yun nga, sabi ay 10 to 100 units. Kaso, ang input natin is 7, too low naman siya. So, reject siya. Okay. Doon naman sa invalid input na too high, since hanggang 100 units lang tayo, pero yung inputted nating data will 110, so reject ulit siya. Kasi nga, the invalid input will be, uh, it's too high. Sir, paano pag nag-input ako ng A, B, C, D? Eh, ang required order quantity is numerical. So, 100 to 100 units. So, rejected siya. Kasi nga, wrong type naman, invalid input. Okay, so kung, let's say, paano naman po yung may mga decimal or yung tinatawag natin nonsensical but interpretable input? O let's say, yun nga, 21.4. Syempre, expected ang result or output will be reject. Kasi nga, naka-whole number tayo. Kaso, ang in-input mong data is decimal. Syempre, or pwede naman natin siya i-considered as di ra-round off. So, magiging 22 siya. So, pasok siya. No, it will be accepted. Okay? So, meron tayong mga automated testing tools. So, ngayon, modern na kasi, no? And yung mga modern tools na yon, it can generate, manage, and execute test cases automatically. No, very convenient. No, kasi to ensure na lahat ng ating condition, no, all conditions are full coverage. Bakit? No, bakit ba kailangan natin na implement din natin yung automated testing tools to save time, no, to reduce the human error nating tinatawag. Okay. And beyond data entry, hindi lahat ng testing ay typing values. Kasi baka sabihin, ay sir, ano lang naman yan? Yung testing natin is more on laging typing values, more on uh, entering data or entering input results. Okay, most of the test din kasi, hindi lang siya more on nakafocus sa type values. Minsan galing ding navigating menus. Minsan naman sa activating different commands or let's say clicking buttons or selecting interface elements. So yung mga cases na ito, yan yung tinatawag nating test scripts. So ano yung test scripts? Yung test scripts po will be the document that exact sequence or actions to ensure that consistent execution across multiple test cycles. Okay, so hindi lahat ng test ay data entry lang. Itatandaan ninyo si test cases is like scenario. And it's a check niya if the program follows the rules correctively. Okay, so alam na natin yung mga different, ano nga to? Yung test plan. Alam na natin yung different example of the test cases, how we input, no, the test case, how we evaluate whether siya by accepted, rejected, or for system rounding. Okay, so dito na tayo sa ating tinatawag na major stages of testing. Kailangan nyo kasi, hindi kasi basta, okay, testing, no? Hindi natin alam kung ano ba yung test natin specifically. So ito yung mga different major stages of testing. Okay, meron tayong 4 general level of system testing, each with increasing scope and complexity. So number 1 dyan ay unit testing. Second will be integration testing. Third is system testing and acceptance testing. Okay? Okay. So sa testing, um, it happens in stages. Each stages, meron siyang bigger scope. It will ensure that our errors or that your errors are caught early and the system works correctly before tayo mag-deploy. Okay? Number one, unit testing. Ano ba yung unit testing? We are testing individual program module, no, from the smallest part of the system up until the biggest part. For example, nag-test lang tayo ng ating login function. Nag-exam, nag-test lang tayo ng ating, let's say, data storage. So, lahat ng aspeto, no, kailangan natin siyang i-test. Even the smallest one. A second is integration testing. No, syempre dito, i-check natin how the modules or yung smallest part of the system work together. Paano yung data nagfo-flow between between the module. For example, pag nag-login tayo ng ating username at saka password, paano siya makaka-connect or paano naka-connect si login kay database connection. So, yun, integration testing yun. O kaya naman ay ah, kung kayo may mga third party. Okay, so kailangan bukod sa mismong unit testing, kailangan din nating i-test yung integration testing kasi malalaman natin dito paano nagkaroon ng connection between the smallest module up until the third party. Okay? And then, ano pa? System testing. Sa system testing, we are testing the entire system, no, as whole. Okay? And syempre, i-verify natin if all the requirements are met. Okay? For example, yung full app nito or kaya yung website or yung let's sige application, yung end-to-end ng entire system will be testing, will be tested. Fourth, acceptance testing. Sa acceptance testing, ito ay done by the user. Ibig sabihin, si user na yung gagamit. Si user na yung tatry, no, to confirm na yung ating system meets their expectation, meets the objective. And the final step before deployment is acceptance testing. For example, yung mga client ay yung application natin for client. No, kailangan itetest din nila, hindi lang atin. No, para ma-check if yung objective nila with your application or with your system ay na-meet. Okay? So, kasi minsan yung mga most errors or yung mga possible na nag-a-arise na error ay galing, let's say, sa integration testing, sa system testing. Most of the errors ay dun galing. Lalo na sa integration testing. No, let's say, for example, ay sa login feature, hindi pala siya naka-integrate or hindi naka-connect sa database. O error yun. Nasa integrated testing yun. Pa, yung mga stages na yon, nakafocus siya sa module interaction, data consistency, full end-to-end performance. Okay, so that kaya kailangan natin malaman kung ano yung mga different stages ng testing or yung levels of testing simula sa unit testing up until acceptance testing. Okay, so next ay unit test. Sa unit test, we are focusing on the evaluating a single unit of software, a program, subroutine, function, or module that performs a specific decretion operation. So the primary objective of the unit test is to verify that the individual module performs exactly as specified in the program specification independent of other modules, unit testing and perform after the programmer has completed the code and believes it to be free of errors based on the initial debugging. Okay? Unit tests are essential for detecting errors that arise from misunderstanding or misinterpreting the program specification. Even highly experienced programmers are susceptible to such mistakes because unit testing compares module behavior directly to stated requirements. It frequently reveals errors early when they are easier and less costly to correct. So unit testing is typically conducted by the system analyst, although it's some organization programmers themselves execute the test. And meron tayong mga two main approaches na pwedeng gamitin. As I said, unit testing, we are checking the small part of the program. Yung function, yung subroutine, yung module. Now, we need to make sure that all part of the program is nakaspecified. At ang ating different parts of the system is it's independent. So bakit ba kailangan or bakit ba importante na magkaroon tayo ng unit test? No, syempre to detect errors as early as possible. No, para madali siyang ayusin at mas cheaper yung pagkakagawa or pagkaka-fix ng ating mga errors. We need to catch all the mistakes from misunderstanding the program specification. Kasi even though you are an experienced programmer, no, malaking bagay talaga yung unit testing. No, unit testing is equals to comparing module behavior directly to the requirements. No, sino ba nagpo-perform ng unit testing? Kayo, system analyst. Minsan, kayo din, mga programmer. So, proceed na tayo with two main approaches pagdating kay unit test. Number one is black box testing and white box testing. Sir, ano ba yung black box testing? So sa black box testing, we are testing the module without looking on the internal code. So, ibig sabihin, yung ang tawag dito, the output or yung tinatawag nating front end na kung ano yung nakikita natin. Yun yung tinatawag nating black box testing. We are not looking the internal code. Okay, so sa test cases, naka-directly si black box testing sa specification ng system. And each requirement o one or more tests, we need to confirm the correct behavior of our system. Okay, ano ba yung advantage ng black box testing? Siyempre, naka-align siya with the user requirements. Kasi nga, inaalam natin kung ano yung pangangailangan ng ating user. Siyempre, we need to remove, or isa sa advantage ni black box testing is maalis natin yung bias kay programmer. And siyempre, it reflects how the end users interact with the system. Okay, sir, ano naman po yung white box testing? Sa white box testing, ito naman yung kabaliktaran ni black box testing. No, it examines the internal logic and the structure of the program. No, ibig sabihin, tinetest dito yung mga complex decision structures ng system. No, kailangan din dito sa part ng white box testing is kailangan ma-verify yung completeness ng internal paths ng ating data or ng ating system. No, yung algorithm, no, lalo na sa mga different parts na medyo mabigat yung paggamit ng algorithm module. We need to ensure that every branch, every loop, every condition works properly. Okay, so talagang mahalaga na magkaroon tayo ng unit testing. Kumbaga yun yung first line of defense, no, para ma-make sure natin na yung ginawa ng ng programmer, yung nagawa or yung created program works correctly before natin siya i-combine into the bigger system. Okay? So alam na natin yung mga different testing. Siyempre, itetest din po natin yung integration testing. Ano nga ulit yung integration testing? Sabi ko kanina, ito yung ah kumbaga ay other program na nakakombine kay yung mismong dinevelop nating system. Kasi yung ating individual module, kailangan niya muna makapasa sa unit testing. If the problems can still appear when the module are combined, diyan na papasok yung integration testing. For example, meron tayo yung system na dinevelop natin and then nagkaroon tayo ng integration with uh, database. Okay, so kailangan meron ding testing. Kasi possible doon sa integration ng ating uh, different modules, pwedeng mag-appear na may problema. Okay, so that's why very important na magkaroon tayo ng integration testing to check if the modules is work together correctly. Ano ba yung purpose ng integration testing? To ensure that our data passes correctly, no, between all the modules. Verify the control transfer o yung program flow that happen as intended. We need to confirm the interfaces that are complete and correctly implemented. No, and sa integration testing, ang fina-follow niya is yung tinatawag nating formal test plan. Yung objective ng system, yung test cases ng system, and yung expected result ng system. Sino ba ang nagpo-perform or sino yung bahala with the integration testing? Sino ba ang nag-implement dyan or sino ang gumagawa? Siyempre, system analyst, yung team of programmers and the analyst that is working together. So meron tayong four common approaches. Yeah. Ito po yung four common approaches. Number one dyan ay user interface testing. No, ito naman in-discuss ko na last chapter na try din natin talaga or itetest talaga natin kung gumagana yung ating user interface. No, yung mga menus, buttons, windows, and prompts. Okay, kung lahat ba sila ay connected sa each other module. Second ay use scenario testing. No, yung use scenario testing, ito yung it simulates the real world user or activities, no, in a real world base. Okay, so for example, yung login. Pag nag-login, mag-enter tayo ng data. Paano magsa-save ang data? After ng save, paano natin siya ipiprint or output? No, so yung exactly uh, yung scenario na ginagawa talaga ng mga user in a real world uh, part or scenario or activities. Okay? Number three is data flow testing. Sa data flow testing, dito naman tinetest if yung data natin is moving correctly and smoothly across all the system. So sa data flow testing, nakafocus naman siya on the shared files, databases, variables, or business object. Okay, so system interface testing, it verifies interaction with external system, no payment gateways, APIs, and third-party services. And kapag lahat ng apat na ito o yung four common approaches natin ay nagawa, no, or na-implement, Siyempre, make sure natin that our system is completely covered. Okay, naintindihan? Question, clarification? Okay, so proceed na tayo with the system test. So sa system test po, it tests and evaluates the entire integrated system as complete entity. Unlike integration testing, which focuses on the intermodule interaction, system testing examines whether the whole system satisfies organizational and functional requirements. And the system tests are usually performed by system analysts that is include assessment of the business requirement compliance, usability, security, performance under load, and system level documentation. Okay? So sa system test naman po, we are checking the entire integrated system as one complete entity. Okay? Hindi kasi po pwede na doon lang tayo kay integration testing, hindi lang tayo pwede doon sa unang part ng testing, but kailangan din nating isaalang-alang yung tinatawag nating system testing which is yung entire integrated system or entire system natin as complete entity. Kailangan din natin siyang itest. Siyempre, tinetest natin siya to make sure that our system is functionable. No? So, paano ba natin ma-evaluate yung system testing? Number one dyan is business requirement compliance. Sabihin, tatanungin natin if the system fulfill yung requirements na kailangan ni user or yung requirements na that is stated to the specification of the system. Second is usability. No, so usability, it is the interface, intuitive, and the user can perform tasks efficiently. Third one, we have here the security. Very important yan if our system is protected or the data na meron sa system are protected no from different unauthorized access or any malicious input or malicious malware. Malware nga. Okay? Fourth one is the performance under load. So dito naman sa part ng performance under load, can the system no handle a large volumes of data? No, syempre, ah yung ating mga ginagawang system, kung kaya niya bang mag-undergo ng different, or let's say maghawak ng large amount of data. Okay, and also can support many users at the same time. Sabay-sabay. Okay, na paggamit ng system. Another ano yon, assessment yon. Ano pa? System level documentation. Sa system level documentation, if meron bang error sa login feature, if yung mga messages ba na meron sa system ay clear, no, yung help and support ba ay available kay system. So that's why very important na malaman natin how system testing is very critical kasi it evaluates the system behavior under the realistic conditions. No, maging realistic tayo lalo na kapag tayo gagawa ng mga ganitong system. Kasi hindi naman tayo gagamit nito eh. We are uh, we are deploying our developed system for the user. And hindi natin siya ginawa just for, let's say, ay makapasa or for fame or for clout. No, dineploy natin siya to make sure that is working properly. If the task that is given to the system is masosolve or magagawa. Okay? And also, critical talaga sa system testing to identify the issue before natin siya i-release or i-deploy para sa user evaluation. No, hindi yung basta-basta, okay, deploy niya na yan. Hindi po gayon. Ano, we need also ensure the reliability. of our system, usability of our system, and most importantly is the security before tayo mag-deploy ng ating pong ginawang system. Okay, tatandaan ha, huwag kakalimutan yung assessment under the system test. Yung business requirement compliance, usability, security, performance under load, and system level documentation. Naintindihan po? Okay. Next is acceptance test. Okay, so alam na natin yung mga nauna. Ito na yung last part or yung tinatawag nating acceptance test. Okay, so as acceptance test po, this is the final stage of testing. Ibig sabihin, ang gagamit na or magte-test na will be the end user. Siyempre, nakasupport dyan ang project team. No, its purpose is to confirm that the system is complete, accurate, and satisfactory to the individuals who will ultimately use it. Okay, so meron tayo dyang two stages ng acceptance testing. We have alpha testing and beta testing. Okay, so sa alpha testing, user test the system, user artificial and sample data that is controlled environment. In a controlled environment, the purpose is to detect major flaws before using the live data. Okay, tatandaan ninyo na itong part na ito, si acceptance testing is the last stage of testing. Okay, ang purpose nito is to confirm if our system is complete, napa-accurate, and satisfactory before the deployment. So si alpha testing, no, ito yung uh, ita-test ni user si system na mag-i-input siya ng sample or artificial data. No, ito yung pag nagtatry tayo, nag-input tayo ng mga data if sino ba dito, open naman kayo or nakapag-develop na kayo ng system. So yung mga sample or artificial data na inilalagay natin, no, alpha testing ang tawag doon. Kasi nga, ah, sample data lang siya para malaman lang natin paano ba nagmo-move yung data na yon sa isang controlled environment. Ang goal natin is ma-detect kung meron tayong mga nakikitang inaccuracies, yung mga major flaws or ah butas sa ating pong system. No, lalo na kung tayo ay gumagamit ng live data. Okay, second is the beta testing. Sa beta testing naman, ito naman yung real and operational data. Unlike the alpha testing na more on artificial data, ito ay more on realistic data, yung operational data. Ito ay under the normal working condition. Okay? Ang goal natin is to find the subtle issues that is not discovered during the alpha testing. Kung ano yung mga hindi natin na punan or hindi natin nakita sa alpha testing, no, dito natin siya makukuha kay beta testing. Okay, so bakit ba kailangan na kasama pa rin si acceptance testing lalo na kay dito sa ating implementation phases? Siyempre, para ma-make sure na yung ating system ay impressive. Kasi dito nakasalalay kung paano makikita ni user ang system. Na ay, ang ganda ng system, ang ganda ng ganito, ang ganda ganyan. And dito natin malalaman kung meron pa bang error or nakakapag-confuse ba si system natin or yung interfaces natin, if our system ba has poor performance, no, na nakakaapekto sa ating users' confidence. No, it should only happen after a successful system testing, and it requires active communication and responsiveness to user concern and visible improvement based on the feedback. Okay? Tatandaan ninyo, kaya dapat yung lahat o yung all in all na system testing should be okay and acceptable para makapag-proceed tayo kay acceptance testing. And one of the most important part is the developing the documentation. In developing documentation, we ensure that our system can be operated, maintained, and enhanced long after release. So meron tayong two main categories. We have the system documentation and user documentation. So dito muna tayo kay system documentation. The system documentation po, it support the technical personnel. At sino-sino ba yung mga technical personnel? Meron tayong mga developers, analysts, administrators, no? Sila yung gumawa no ng all-in-all analysis and design phases. System documentation din, no, nakakatulong sila to help understand how the system was built and how to maintain it. Okay, so ano ba yung mga example ng system documentation? Yung requirements documents, use case diagram, data dictionary, program specification, ano ba, architecture diagram, source code documentation, change log, and version histories. So yan yung tinatawag nating system documentation. Nakapokus siya on a technical personnel. Okay? Tatandaan ninyo, si system documentation, it grows. No? Lalo na kung ang ating project is very real-time and it progresses. Okay? So, wag po kakalimutan yun. So, system documentation, ah, para sa ano siya? Para sa technical personnel. Kasi nga, it includes requirements, documents, use case diagrams, no? Ano pa, user documents to be discussed mamaya further, para sa end users that is guiding them on how to use the system. So, tatandaan po ninyo na si acceptance testing, it builds user trust. And the documentation, it ensured that the system can live on and be improved long after release. Okay, so dito na tayo kay user documentation. So user documentation, no, it helps naman the end user. Paano ba nila i-operate ang system effectively? No, unlike the system documentation, para sa mga technical staff, si user documentation naman para siya, o kumbaga naka-design siya bilang guide para sa mga ordinary users ng ating system. Para makumpleto nila or makomplete nila yung task nila, paano nila ina-navigate yung features ng ating system. Also to solve their problems. Ano ba yung mga example ng user? Ah, Documentation. Tama na ba? Oh, ano ba yung mga sample ng user documentation? We have here the user manual. Ito yung step-by-step instructions. Ano pa? Quick reference guides. Ito yung short and handy tips for the user. Ano pa? Training manuals, structured learning materials, online health files that is built in. No? Ito yung mga menus and tool tips. Ano ba? Pages. Ito naman yung can answer common questions for that specific specification or specific part of your system. Okay? And the troubleshooting guide. Siyempre, paano siya ito troubleshoot? Paano siya ayusin? Paano pag ganito ang nag-arise? Okay? So, meron tayong types of documentation. Number one dyan is the reference documents. Second will be the procedure manuals and tutorials. So dito po muna tayo sa reference documents. Ito naman po ay often implemented as a system online help or materials user consult when they need to learn or recall how to perform a specific function. So dito po sa reference documents, we need to this is a part of or this is type of user documentation that is implemented as online help. Ibig sabihin, tinutulungan ng reference documents para ma-recall at malaman or bigyan ng knowledge sa system or system si user kung paano nila gagamitin yung certain functions. No, lalo na kung ang user ay nagkakaroon ng difficulty or error sa paggamit nila kay system. Okay, we need to write guidelines, no, clear and concise, no, directly, directly answer paano gagawin ito, paano gagawin iyan, no, paano isosolve ito, paano gawa nito. Siyempre, kailangan naka-organize siya. Diba? Avoid natin yung mga unnecessary technical jargons na dapat nakafocus yung guidelines natin under the reference documents into individual commands or tasks. Step by step, paano nila isosolve or gagawin no, yung ating pong system. Okay? Second will be procedure manual. Procedure manuals describe how to perform multi-step business tasks such as printing monthly reports, updating inventory records, or processing customer orders. Unlike reference documentation, which addresses isolated function, procedures, manual guides the user through end-to-end workflows that span multiple modules or screen. So meron tayong ditong entries and procedures manually procedure manuals that are typically longer or more detailed than reference topics, organized around business process, written in sequential step-by-step format, supported by screenshots, examples, and decisions notes. And these manuals are essentials when the system introduces significant changes in how business tasks are performed. Okay? So balik tayo. So procedure manuals, ito naman po yung other forms of depending on what the users need. Okay, so sa procedure manual, ito yung multi-step way or task ng ating pong system. Okay, alam niyo naman yung procedure manual, yan na yung yan yung uh, well-documented step-by-step procedure on how to use our system. Okay, and lastly, ay tutorials. Familiar kayo kay tutorials? It teach the users how to operate yung mga different major features and components ng ating system. No, nakadesign siya for progressive learning. And syempre, binabasa siya ni user step by step, naka-sequence, especially especially para sa ating mga new users, no, to build foundational knowledge para kay system. Okay, ano ba yung characteristic na meron si tutorial? Longest among the three documentation types, highly structured for progressive learning, often accompanied by demonstration and exercises, and start with the basic operation that's move, advance, and features. So, uh, in this part naman kasi ng chapter number 6, ito na yung last na. So, kung sabi ko nga, if maayos yung nagawa si analysis, na-meet nyo lahat ng objective sa designing, madali nyo pong mai-implement or madali nyo makakonstruct ang inyong system. And once constructed, don't forget to test it. No, and document it. Kasi very important for you, no, for the team or for the, uh, let's say for the user, to have those documented and testing to make sure that our system is functionable, no, our system is user friendly. Okay? So since tapos na ang ating semester, I hope na madami kayong natutunan no from how the system were designed, how we understand the problem of the user and how we create our solution no para doon kay user. No, I hope na naunawaan ninyo paano ba tayo nagsimula or paano ba natin nakita at nai-apply si system development life cycle. No, and I hope in this subject no will uh, help you to do your capstone. Okay, kasi ito naman talaga introduction lang on how you develop your system, lalong-lalo na kapag kayo nag-capstone na. Okay? So tatandaan ninyo na yung success ng inyong system, or success ng inyong, let's say, capstone, kasi looking forward na tayo sa inyong thesis, nakadepende siya sa kung paano nyo siya inanalyze, gaano kaganda, gaano kaayos yung design, no? Pag nag-construct na kayo or nagawa na kayo ng prototype, paano nangyari yung testing, yung proper documentation ng each stages, no? Tatandaan ninyo na si design, it gives us blueprint. Si implementation, no, we are turn the ideas or the design into reality. Si testing, it ensures the reliability and the quality of our system. And the documentation, it keeps the system alive for the future user and developer. And you, as a future IT professionals, your challenge is not just to write code, but to build systems that are usable, secure, and meaningful. Lagi niyong iisipin yung mga taong gagamit ng system na ginawa ninyo. Kasi technology is very powerful. No, very advanced, but it only becomes valuable kapag ginamit natin si technology ng maayos. No, I am very proud of all the efforts na pinakita ninyo ngayong semester. No, I hope that all lessons no will guide you to have clarity, fairness, and to make responsibility sa lahat ng project na inyong gagawin. No, sabi ko nga, hindi naman this is not just about passing the subject. No, it's about preparing you to design solution and to make difference. So ngayon pa lang, kino-congratulate ko na kayo in completing our semester. No, I am hoping that your final project, no, makikita ko doon na kayo ay may natutunan sa aking subject. Okay, so that's all. Ingat. God bless. Thank you for staying. Thank you for listening. And I hope na madami po kayo natutunan kay sir. Ingat. God bless. See you sa inyong final defense. Bye!